Mrs. Vazquez here. I'm here to help you guys understand how to use a dictionary. A lot of people think using a dictionary is super easy, but actually it's kind of complicated if you think about it. So I'm here to give you some tips and tricks for whenever you hit one of those bumps in the road as you're trying to use a dictionary. So let's get started. This is not a dictionary. Oh, that's not a dictionary either. That's a dictionary. You could tell because it says dictionary on the front. Once you have your dictionary, you're ready to go. The main reason you pulled out your dictionary is probably to look for a word you don't know. But looking up a word isn't as simple as just finding it and reading the definition. No. First, you need to consider the context of the word. The context is the words and ideas surrounding the word. Say, for example, I'm reading National Geographic. I come upon the word plunges. In context, it says the blue lines on the map are shale gas wells. Assembled from seismic data, the map helps scientists at Chesapeake Energy's Oklahoma City headquarters choose the best spots to drill. A typical well plunges 1.5 miles, then turns horizontal inside the shale. So I can tell that wells are those blue things on the picture because it says so. I know a well is a place where you can get like liquid type stuff out of the ground. In this case, it's shale gas. I don't know what shale gas is, but I can probably guess it's a type of gas used for energy, and these guys want to get it. The context says a typical well plunges 1.5 miles, so I know it's doing something for 1.5 miles, so it must be a verb. And I know it must be something a well can do. Now I'm ready to look in my dictionary. Oh no, my word isn't in the dictionary. There are 4 possibilities as to why your word might not be in the dictionary. Number 1, your word is there. It's just in a different form. In this case, you have to remember the context. My word was plunges, but it was used as a verb in the third person, and verbs are only listed in their naked infinitive forms. Fortunately, they are usually also listed in the past and gerund form, so if you see a word that looks a lot like yours, check the bold writing after it. That tends to be the variations of the word. Number 2, your word is there. You just didn't look carefully enough. Always give 2 or 3 sweeps if you feel confident it should be there. Number 3, your word isn't there because it's a Wikipedia or encyclopedia or Google search word. In the context of my National Geographic excerpt, they mention Chesapeake Energy. Well, guess what? That's not in the dictionary because it's a company. But when I do a Google search, I can find information about the company both on their company website and through Wikipedia. Just as a side note, anybody can edit Wikipedia. This doesn't make it bad. It just means you have to be a critical Wikipedia reader. Check the sources at the bottom of the page to see if the writer has included real evidence to support their point, what their source was, and whether you can trust that source. Problem number 4. Your word isn't there because it's too new. On the same page as my word plunges, National Geographic uses the word fracking. This word has exploded onto the energy scene very recently, so it's not even in the dictionary. Fortunately, a search on Wikipedia or Urban Dictionary will take care of really new words. Okay, so let's say you did find the word. There are actually 2 entries here for plunge, but because we read the context, we know it's the verb and not the noun. Darn, because the verb has way more stuff than the noun. What's with all this stuff? A dictionary entry will always list a pronunciation and the part of speech of the word. They will also sometimes list the year the word was first recorded as being used in English, and sometimes, if you're lucky, they will list a short etymology of the word. Etymology is a fancy word for how a word was born. Because English has such a complicated history, the words can come from Latin, French, Old English, Greek, or other places like China, India, or Hawaii. Once you get past all this stuff, you might notice that numbers begin to appear in bold, and then sometimes even letters after numbers. In the case of plunge, we see 1, 2, 2A, 2B, 2C, and 3. So which one is it? Here's where you have to put on your thinking cap and consider the context. Number 1. Is the well penetrating or entering quickly and forcibly into something? No, it's already there, and it probably took them a while to build it. Has the well entered a state or course of action suddenly or unexpectedly or violently? Well, I don't really get what that means, but after there are little pointy parentheses called brackets that give an example. It says, plunged the nation into economic depression. I don't think that's the kind of plunge the well is doing either, because I already ruled out the whole quick and forceful entry factor. So that means I can skip 2A, 2B, and 2C as well, because these definitions will be variations on the general meaning given for 2. That leaves me with 3. To descend or dip suddenly. Does the well in the picture descend or dip suddenly? Yes, it descends into the earth suddenly, but not like, whoa, that well just descended into the earth so suddenly, it was like 2 seconds and bam, 1 mile down. Instead, they mean suddenly like, instead of going down at a gradual angle, it went straight down. Sweet, I got my answer. But I'm not done yet. Let's say I wanted to look up shale, because I still don't quite understand what shale gas is. So let's take a look. Buckle up your seatbelt, because sometimes when you look up a word, it's like, there's like 15 words I don't know in this definition, and you can't give up. You can't give up on that word, because if you do, you'll have absolutely no understanding of it, and that's not how you use a dictionary. Don't give up on your word. Keep searching, and you will understand. Shale. A fissile rock that is formed by the consolidation of clay, mud, or silt, has a finely stratified or laminated structure, and is composed of minerals, essentially unaltered since deposition. Wait, what? So here we go. I'm going to try to make sense of the word as I go. Shale is a fissile rock. So what kind of rock is it? After I read all the possible definitions for fissile, I found that the only one that makes sense in this context is the first one. Capable of being split or divided in the direction of the grain or along natural planes of cleavage. Okay, so it's a rock that splits apart easily. Next it says it is formed by the consolidation of clay, mud, or silt. If I don't know what consolidation means, I can figure it out if I know the prefix con or com means together. Solid means to make hard, and the suffix shun is a process of. So it's the process of things coming together and becoming solid, like layers of mud and clay hardening. Okay, so it's a rock you can split apart easily, formed by layers of hardened mud or clay or silt with a finely stratified or laminated structure. When I look up stratified, I only find stratify, but stratified is one of the forms listed. All the definitions mention the word strata. That stratified is something that gets organized into some kind of strata. But what the heck, the dictionary doesn't have any kind of definition for strata. Now I have to go ask somebody. Hey, Miss Dawes, I came upon this word, and it says something like stratified is to arrange something into strata, but it doesn't say what strata are. Do you know what strata are?
Sure. Strata are layers, so it would be to arrange something in layers.
Oh, great! Thanks so much, Miss Dawes. Now you can answer your phone. Okay, so shale is stratified and laminated. What's laminated? I thought it was putting plastic on paper to make it last longer. Well, let's take a look. The first full definition for laminated is composed of layers of firmly united material. That makes sense in our context. So it's a rock that separates easily, that's formed by hardened layers of mud or clay, that has strata or layers that are stuck together and that remain the same since deposition. I noticed that the word deposition has the word deposit in it. So I'm going to guess that this rock stays in layers since they first got laid down. I see indeed, when I look it up, that deposition is the act or process of depositing or laying down. Whew! Now I think I kind of got it. I still wonder what shale looks like, so just for fun I do a Google image search and I find that all my hard work has paid off. Shale looks like a lot of different kinds of colors of rock, but they're all in layers that are stuck together and look like they've been that way since they first got laid down. Awesome! You may notice that I used my knowledge of prefixes, roots, and suffixes, and my ability to identify smaller words within words to help me understand words that I might not know, even before I look them up in the dictionary. Stay tuned next time, where I teach you this really fantastic skill. Enjoy using your dictionary. See you next time.